All right. Go!
Neutral button. No warrior now.
This part.
Microphone check 1, 2. What is this?
Neutral button. No warrior now.
Parks on the boards.
Yes!
If I say something, they'll call me a dick eater.
Oh no! After our mentions tomorrow, between playing that entire lemon pepper freestyle and talking about this deal, we're in for it tomorrow.
Why? We talked about this deal for all of 8 minutes. We didn't talk about Drake till after the whole first hour of the show.
You're bringing up Logic,
and
Joe.
we talked about
Joe, you're bringing up Logic.
Oh, okay.
You're bringing up Logic. Relax.
Yeah, we played a whole verse. Again, I'll explain it to the people that may be confused as to why we did that. We do that with Drake because he's the market share of all of you. The fuck?
You're bringing up Logic.
Share,
You're bringing
All right.
up Logic.
Now what else?
Has your mentions ever been a majority Logic?
No.
Never.
Exactly.
Not one
So
day
that's
have
what
I
I'm saying.
opened that app.
I'm just saying.
Except for
that
when my sleep dick went out. They always like, oh, he's tiny.
My sleep dick went out.
Oh my God, he's kind of small. Then you catch yourself trying to explain, but wait a minute.
I wasn't aroused.
No one was there to touch me.
I'm a grower, not a shower.
That's what Joe was
Yo,
yelling.
Silva, come on in, man. Silva here? Hey, Silva, come on in. Let's balance some of this awkwardness out, man. Finally, it's not just an all-white room on that side now.
Silva's kind of white.
Nah, Silva's not white.
I mean,
No, you see that here. I know they told y'all that they told y'all Jesus had that. We have the man, the myth, the legend, the awesome, amazing J.N. Silva in the building. Let me hit the round of applause.
Happy to be here, finally on camera.
the God. I know you usually are taking pictures of us. We're finally on camera.
The best
now.
pictures in the world.
By far the best pictures.
Silva, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. It's been a crazy few weeks and month, and I think it's only going to get crazier. But all exciting things, and, you know,
That's
busy
great.
is good.
Busy with what?
Well, I've been kind of, as you know, fully deep into this crypto blockchain world for the last few years, and trying to spew this like excitement and knowledge over anyone that like wants to listen. And a lot of people looked at me like I was crazy for the
nobody
last
wants to
few
listen to
years. And I think over the last few months, people are like, you might have been onto something here. And now they're asking me, for information. And
Yo, if you talking about me, then just say that then.
I mean, not being,
Just say that then. But you're absolutely right.
I mean, and I was happy to see, you invite Pomp on here, and he kind of spewed all the knowledge that he has when it comes to Bitcoin, and he's one of those best people to explain that stuff. But I think now, the conversation has shifted from Bitcoin and blockchain to, this new thing, NFTs, and I'm sure you've seen it, maybe have talked about it, but
We've spoken about it briefly. I've done my best to read on it, but it is a confusing topic.
yeah, it gets pretty dense. But I think once it like clicks and you understand the value proposition behind it, then I think you'll really fuck with it, because it really is about like empowering artists and giving creators giving them back the power.
All right, for our listeners, we're talking about NFTs. What are NFTs? NFTs are blockchain-based records that uniquely represent pieces of media. Pieces of media. I wish I could talk about that further.
Well, I think the
Wait,
easiest...
let me just get that last part.
Oh, yeah, go for
Can
it.
be anything digital. Art, videos, music, GIFs, games, texts, memes, code.
Podcast.
They didn't write that for some reason. Spotify must have wrote this.
And quickly back to, remember when you said 2 million should have got some type of copyright and money from the dance?
Yeah, dances.
But this is NFT. Silva, you're the expert.
Yeah, so
Take
I
it
think
away.
the easiest way to think about it, and you're gonna hear, NFT, you can get super technical about what they represent and what it is and what blockchain technology is. But I think the easiest way to think about it is like a certificate of ownership, a digital certificate of ownership, right? Up until now, there was no way to really track ownership of digital assets, right? Me as a photographer, for example, right? if I want to sell a photo, or something that I put up, someone can then, I can send them the file, but now we have 2 copies of the file. That person can then go and sell that file and claim that it was his own, and there's no way of tracking that.
This is what I was trying to think of to stop bootlegging in 2004.
Exactly. Okay. So what NFTs create is an ability for you to upload a work, and it could be any media. It could be a movie file, an audio file,
let's say album for now.
An album, anything. And, you put it on the blockchain, and that process is called minting. So you'll hear this word a lot. We're minting something, and minting just means kind of think of it as like uploading it to the blockchain. Mm-hmm. And from that moment on, there is an immutable record of where when that happened and where this piece goes over time. So, it's a way to track provenance and sovereignty. So when you think of like the traditional art world, when a piece gets brought in for review to a museum or exhibition, you have a person that like appraises it. He verifies that it's an actual legit piece. They study it. And then at the end, they give it that certificate of authenticity. Yes, this is a one-of-one Picasso, for example. Right? And then they have a book that tracks the provenance. And, and over time, you can see these books of art dealers who are like, yes, this has gone from this person to this person to this person, going back all the way from, the genesis of that piece. Up until now, there was no way to do that for digital assets. And NFTs create this ability for you to track a digital asset over time infinitely with the bonus that the original creator can get royalties from every sale that occurs up until the end.
Now, is there an actual community of people that are hip to this? Because like early on with Bitcoin, my stupid self was saying, hey, can I go buy some cigarettes from the gas station with Bitcoin? And no, I couldn't then, and I was stupid. But here, what am I trying to ask you? Is there, because I imagine every artist is about to start doing this. When you do it, how large is the community now? Because I'm assuming it's early that will support this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen, hyperbolic growth over the past few months, but also we live in this very hyper-focused media bubble. Like, we know what's going on in culture, right? I would say that still 80% of my friends have no idea this is happening. So even though to us it feels like, this is booming and it's all we hear about, I think it hasn't reached nowhere near like mass adoption, right? And if you think of like the IPs that have yet to come into this space, no one has like, of major magnitude, they haven't entered this space. And, with the NFT community or what this whole movement kind of unlocks is the ability to create connection between supporters and creators, right? So, for me, like, I'll give you an example. Last week or 2 weeks ago, Street Fighter dropped their first trading card NFTs, right? And for me, I was like a huge Street Fighter nerd. So I was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna go support this. The packs were like, $50 for the regular packs, like $75 for the other. And to me, like I just want to be a collector of this, And over the past years, we've seen collectibles, just how that market has gone through the roof with Pokemon cards, with trading cards, with all of these things that bring nostalgia.
I recently read about a Luka Doncic rookie card going for some number higher than any rookie card has ever gone for.
Exactly. So, this sort of like nostalgia that you feel for a specific IP or for a work of art, before NFTs, there was only the physical connection to it, but there's always like a problem with like, physicals. You have to, if you're hoarding collectibles at a certain point, you're like, oh man, I can't like, that's it. It's too much. You become a hoarder. But think of like the things that you can collect digitally, right? And we're going to start moving into a world where like, already a lot of us exist mostly in digital realms, and it's like weird to think about. But you're going to have virtual galleries where people will display all their collectibles over time, and these will be NFTs, right? So you have things like Top Shots who are doing NFTs for basketball moments, right? And it's kind of like digitizing trading cards. And, you get these moments from your favorite basketball players on like a certain rarity scale. And NFTs have that... one of the main things is like certifiable rarity and scarcity, right? Because Top Shots can say there's only 10,000 of this Luca moment.
Yeah.
You know, and then those 10 people own it. But then they can go and say, there's only 50 of this, like LeBron moment. So those 50 will now be, you know, obviously have a lot more value. So over time, you know, you're going to have people that are going to start collecting all these moments because of, you know, the scarcity of it. And that's what, you know, will drive the value up.
Well, the scary part about what I think I'm hearing from you, if I understand properly, is the royalty aspect of it. And that's the beautiful part of the NFT stuff. But the horrible side of it for me is if there are royalties to be earned from this, that means that there were royalties to be earned all along. Am I off in that?
No, that's absolutely right.
Got it.
And I mean, one of the crazier
We've all
stories
been
that
getting ripped off. Don't worry about it.
well, one
Well,
crazy,
I know that, but I mean, when it comes to solutions to that, when you try to think around that, it gets limited.
Sure.
So this is really, that's one of the reasons why this was so intriguing to me.
Me too.
well, and it's crazy to think about. And that's why I think this technology is so disruptive because before we didn't have, you know, a way to do this for digital assets. And, you know, I was in a room before where this painter came in and he was like, you know, a famous painter from like the 70s. And he said, you know, I have pieces that I made in the 70s that I sold for a few $1,000s that are now reselling for millions of dollars now. I don't see a dime off that, you know? And now all the new stuff that I create, I'm not only competing
Against
with
my old stuff.
Yeah, I'm competing with not only the other artists around me, I'm also competing with my old self because collectors are probably going to want to buy my older stuff rather than my newer stuff.
And they're going to upload that.
So imagine if an artist, you know, was able to earn royalties, you know, perpetually for something that they created early on.
So if I, let's say, and this might be a poor example, but just correct me if I'm wrong. If I purchase an old Lord Finesse album and that album is mine, physical copy, in NFT world, you're saying I would be able to upload that and mint it? I could mint that?
No, so I think that's a common misconception. It's like when you're the creator, you retain all rights to anything that you put out there. Whoever buys it, you know, there's no transfer.
In NFT world.
Yeah, there's no transfer of rights when you know, sell something. The person that's buying it is buying it as a collector, right? So, and again, it's akin to like the traditional art world, right? You have people who go to these galleries of like emerging artists and then, you know, they kind of like do their research on, you know, all these artists that are coming out in the exhibition, and then they'll buy a piece. But like, yeah, this is one of this artist's first pieces, and we're gonna hold on to this because we feel this artist is gonna go on to do great things, right? Now, this has been happening in the traditional art world for ages, but it's a very closed gate community, right? There's gatekeepers there for both the artists and the collectors. Like, I love art. And, you know, I've been to Art Basel, I've been to a ton of exhibitions, and I'm like, I can't afford this. Like, and this is what they tell me is art, first of all. But it's also like,
That part,
I can't
yeah.
afford, you know, I can't afford this, right? It's priced very highly. And it shuts out a lot of people as investors, as art investors. So what the NFT community, you know, what this has kind of like done is democratize not only the selling of art, but also the collecting of art. So it's making people all over the world art collectors because now, you know, you have the opportunity to see an artist, right? There's this.
No, people all over the world are art collectors.
Exactly.
It's not making people all over the world. We've been art collectors and we've been getting robbed in our business.
Exactly.
That.
So yeah, and you know, a perfect example is this kid Ferocious, who's like a phenom of an artist, like incredible artist.
Where's he from?
Just turned 18.
Wow.
Yeah, he just turned 18. Has like an incredible story.
I'm saying wow, like that's not what phenom means. All right, go ahead.
He just has like an incredible story. He has like the most generous heart. Like if you see his videos, he's just like so
Where's he from?
happy. I'm not sure where he's from originally. I think he's from Vegas, and
Got
I
it.
know he recently moved.
What's his name?
Ferocious is his Victor is his actual name, but Ferocious is his artist name. And it's crazy because a year ago he actually pulled up a tweet and he was trying to sell a painting of his for like $90 all over the internet, and no one would like buy it. And you know, he had like family problems, and you know, his story is amazing and everyone should look into it. But you know, someone put him on to this like new art world and said, you know, your art is amazing, like it tells a story, you can like feel, you know, the emotion through them. You should just start selling them, you know, to collectors in this NFT world. And, you know, he did his first drop sometimes last fall, and it just went crazy because people, like, the art is there, the story is there, and people all over the world are like, whoa. And he's just 17, So, since then he's done, I think he did a drop on January 2nd, right after our drop, and he did like $3 million in sales.
Tell me about your drop.
I'll go back to mine a little bit.
Got it.
But now, and I own a ferocious piece, right? Like I bought a piece because I'm like, I see the potential in this kid. I know the story's great.
What can
I
you
know
do
the
with your
talent's
piece
there.
though? Can you hang your piece up in your house?
That's going to be my next question.
So yes, you already can, and people are working, and that's going to be the next kind of like gold rush is who figures out physical displays.
That's what I want to know with the music side of it. I totally understand what you're saying with this being the original piece the way you do with an actual artist. But when I take that full piece, I can hang it up and I can touch it in my house and show everyone this is an original Basquiat. Mm-hmm. When I do the digital thing with music specifically, what do I do with it? I have it?
Yeah, I mean, it's that
because it's the same thing if someone can take it. And I what Scream Man just pulled up with the Linkin Park singer of saying that, yeah, even though I sold this NFT, the more people play it on DSPs, it becomes more valuable because I have the original. I understand what he's saying, but what does someone that buys it do with it? It just sits on my hard drive and say, I got it?
Well, it's one of those things that we're going to see emerging technologies like form around this.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where like, like Joe said earlier on, what could you do with Bitcoin?
Sure.
Could you spend it here and there? And now they're building out whole infrastructures. So now I'm seeing, all these instances in which physical displays are coming. Like I'm actually working with a company called Atomic Form, and they have me as an advisor, and I'm like figuring out like as an artist, what do I want these physical screens to look like, and how do I want them to be, blockchain integrated, right?
I understand it visually.
And
I
now for
suppose
music,
audio, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, so for music, and this is a whole other conversation and like further deeper down the rabbit hole, but we're going to start to see the emergence of like metaverses and AR worlds and VR worlds.
Okay.
Right? Where you're going to have control to like invite people to a virtual gallery and like just play all the pieces that you own.
Like gigs? I mean, what was that? Gims?
Sims.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But was Sims like an early version of what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a very early version of like a metaverse. Yeah, and we're gonna start moving towards.
People were
like,
really into that.
Big time.
And it's
that was
still
a big thing. It's still.
I guess what I'm just still confused on, like, if there's the Warhol Campbell soup picture and that went around the entire world, you could probably buy it at Urban Outfitters if you want. Just the print of it and hang it in your house. But if I have the original, that means something way different.
That's exactly.
But if I have an audio file and it sounds the exact same as the one that I rip off DSPs or just play off DSPs,
but it doesn't
what's the
have the
value?
digital certificate of authenticity. It's the same thing. You just answered your own question.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you have,
It's like a bootleg.
even if it's a bootleg, you just own a bootleg. And that's what
so
it is.
So
and
what's the
over
incentive is my question.
Over time,
I can understand the incentive of having a real
only the people that are the original
Warhol.
owners, over time, the people that, have the ownership that is verifiable and tracked by the blockchain, those are the people that are gonna be seen.
That's going to be the only thing recognized.
And
By the
one
way,
example that
I
like,
understand that people would want that.
There'll
Yeah,
be no
I just-
value
I
when
just
you have it in
oh
the
yeah,
bootleg.
no, and it's tough to like wrap your mind around.
Oh no,
And-
I can totally see someone wanting the original stems and bounce
Well,
from
and
a
one
song.
example
I can
that I
get
like-
it from a fan perspective, but
For sure.
That's a real. You have to be a connoisseur, and that does it with art too. So I do get it. I totally get it.
One
And I
example
think
that
it's
I've been
deserved
using
in audio.
is like, and there's been people in the hip hop world that have like been ahead of the curve in this regard. Like, Wu-Tang doing their One of One album, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a big release. Nipsey doing, the mixtape for 100. Now imagine if
Actually,
Nipsey would have done an NFT for that, right?
Yeah.
And all the people that got that received, obviously the audio component, but also any sort of visual component or anything that certified that ownership.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang,
Yeah.
Wu-Tang
Also
is still on that. I just recently saw in the news that
I saw that.
Oh, they're getting in.
they have a photo book.
Like a 400-pound photo book.
Yeah, that there were only like 30 of them made or 10 of them
I
made,
think 36 off the 36.
and
Yeah.
it's like some wild price. I'm like, these guys are at it again.
They're at it, yeah. They're ahead of the game. I
But
think.
ahead of things.
Kings of Leon just released the album. The way that they're doing without NFT, the album that came out on all DSPs this week. But I guess with the NFT came lifetime front row concert seats and a merch bundle, and I think Any one of the shows that you go to where you're in the front seat, you get all of the merch that they're selling at that particular show for you and however many tickets you get. Or
See, that
whatever.
sounds right.
So there's like a bunch of shit bundled with it.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
now going back to
No,
the
it just
Not a
sounds
question.
like every artist would need to do a custom job of how you will incentivize your audience to come.
Of course.
Exactly.
And they said in the press release that I read for this that they went overboard just to kind of show some possibilities
Well,
of what you can do with it.
Let's read it a little bit.
think it was
Wait,
Yeah,
hold
that's
on.
one
So let me
right.
finish out the.
My
the
bad.
the-
Oh, I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
Whoa.
I just want to finish out the
ahead.
Nipsey, the
Give it to
Nipsey
us.
metaphor, because if he had done that as an NFT, obviously with what happened, all of those things, true collectors and
grow
true
in value.
fans grow immensely in value, and
Yeah.
these people that
It would go
paid
way higher.
at the time, the $100, that's as many as are going to exist, and you'll be able to transact over the blockchain and be able to track it. And the beauty of it is that as the price is going up, from all the collectors trying to scoop this original piece of Nipsey art, the royalties would be getting kicked back.
How
in
would they be able
perpetuity.
to? How would they be able to hear it?
Again, the NFT can hold a music file, it can hold a video file, it can hold, there's no file limit. It just holds media. It's a digital certificate of ownership that is trackable over time.
So creators out there, right? Whoever this is applicable to, right? You may run into some meetings with executives where the executive is attempting to tell you that all of the media is the same. Video, audio, art, GIF, meme.
It's not.
They'll find a different way to tell you that in the future they're identifying all of these things at one, but they're talking about this.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way, Joe. The way people thirst over the verified check,
Well, they're gonna get them niggas.
that's
get all of
what
them.
this is to some degree.
Yeah.
It's I have the original audio file by way of what they say. It may not mean anything, but I know how the audiences go. That's why I'm trying to
That's one
understand
aspect
this.
of it.
That's why I'm trying to
But
understand
to
this.
be able to track art is never been done.
No,
It's unheard of.
I'm only talking about the actual stamp of what it gives and why people may have
That
the
stamp is
incentive to
important.
do.
This, but
Well,
the
yeah.
stamp
Now-
is
But your verified account never grows in value because only certain people for the rest of life will have this. So if my account only existed with that verified check and it continued to grow and someone could sell it, buy it, it would go up in value because it's a vintage thing that only a certain group of people could buy. That's what this is here. And I'm saying it'll work because people thirst over that stamp. They
Well,
thirst over you have that grows in value when
Because that's
other
a
people
culture.
can't
though.
get it.
It's like collectors.
Yeah.
It's a culture.
it's status signaling.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And and this is a conversation that pops up often because of CryptoPunks, for example. CryptoPunks were the very first NFTs, right? They were the thing that they created a new token standard, and they were the project that said you can encode a piece of media and art into the blockchain, right? And they're literally these like 8-bit, I think like 16 by 16 animations, and there were 10,000 of them unique CryptoPunks made. Right. And then originally they were like free. You just had to have an Ethereum address. You signed up and you put it up, and then they're like, here's your CryptoPunk. Every one of them is different. Every one of them is unique. There's only 10,000. There will only be 10,000. Over time, CryptoKitties was like the next big project. Over time, the NFT, more NFT projects started coming out. Now with this boom, CryptoPunks are like a piece of history because they're the very first NFT.
Got you.
So anyone that owns a CryptoPunk, either you're an OG in the space or you're buying them, from whatever marketplace. And now they've gone up immensely in value where people are paying millions of dollars just to own a CryptoPunk. So when you see someone, scrolling through Twitter with a CryptoPunk avatar, that's kind of like status signaling. You're like,
it's
oh,
maybe
okay,
status signaling if you're not an artist. I don't understand that point that y'all are making.
collectors.
This means something
Collectors,
very
yeah.
different if you're an
Yeah,
artist.
art collectors. And that's another like crazy thing that I'm seeing is the emergence of a collector community. And that's something that I've never seen before. Right? There's all these like, anonymous crypto gods essentially who are just like spending incredible amounts of money just collecting art and changing lives, right? And now there's like these bigger than life personas, and like shout out to them like Illustrator, Whale Shark, 888, and they're like angels, to artists because an artist will mint, a work, and then if a collector just scoops it, you're like, wow, like one of the biggest collectors in the space now believes in me, right? And that's for them, yes, you could call it like status signaling,
Right.
but they're just changing like lives through their means, and also it's investing. Because like whoever bought the first Ferocious piece, that was like maybe $100 last year, that's probably worth a lot more now. And looking at people like Beeple is like the poster boy of the space. And I don't know if you've
I'm
heard.
not familiar, besides from what you told me.
So I'll mention it because no NFT conversation goes, without talking about Beeple. Beeple is a visual artist, 3D artist who's been doing a series called Every Days for the past over 5,000 days. So for the last, I think, 13 years or, however long 5,000 days is, he's been putting out a 3D piece of work out on the internet for free without stop. He hasn't missed a day.
No, he's like the crooked eye of this.
Yes, he's a crooked eye. He's a crooked eye of NFTs. It's the perfect metaphor.
NFTs
And this guy
weekly.
has been giving, and he's been giving away, VJ loops. He's been, Creative Commons. He's like, you can look at my Cinema 4D files. You can learn from me. I'm just going to keep doing this every day. And yes, he's gotten work with like a lot of artists in the space, and that's how he makes his money. But without fail, this man every day, you wait at the end of the day, Beeple's going to drop his every day on Instagram. He's been giving them away. Towards the end of last year, they were like, yo, Beeple, you need to get into this space, right? So he did his first drop, like, I think right around election day. And it was like this crazy piece. And it was like, wow, Beeple's coming into the NFT space. Like, it was a huge deal. Because he means a lot to artists all over the world, and his ethos of like hardworking, just every day, giving shit away for free. He's like an artist, and his entry in the space kind of like just blew the gates wide open. Like that first drop of his went crazy. He did an open edition, which
Take
means
that, Ferocious.
well, so so he did an open edition, which was like $1 on Nifty Gateway, which is like pretty much the biggest marketplace right now for a lot of the art NFTs. And, for like 5 minutes, you can buy a Beeple piece for $1, right? And then he had another, that were like $969. And whatever, those pieces that were minted, that's as many as will ever exist, right? Forever. And then he did a one of one, this is like my first drop, one of one, that ended up going for like $60,000, right? Obviously, like the press that came with such a giant entering the space, and, I think he sold a crazy amount of money. He went and planned a second drop that was even crazier. And it included like a whole bunch of one-of-one auctions, different editions of stuff that he had made. And this one, in 3 days, he sold $3.7 million or $3.5 million worth of art.
Is that his ringtone?
He's going to stay home. We got a trick for him.
So he sold like $3.5 million of art in 3 days. And I mean, it was crazy to watch as an artist because Beeple is like an everyday dude. And he's just like, oh my God, he was like freaking out, right? And that I feel like was the turning moment for this whole NFT space. And from then on, it's just gone on like hyperdrive. Concluding with, just a few weeks ago, Christie's announced that they're going to do
I don't care about all of these people.
No, but they're like anyone that
Christie's is a big
Christie's
art
is the biggest
house.
auction house
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
I know, but it's tough to retain the stories of all of these people.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Give it to Christy. Tell me more. I
So-
want to hear about what he's doing.
Well, so
And he's telling me about Beeple's, Ferocious, Christie's. What are you doing?
so I'll finish it off with Christie's is doing right now an auction for Beeple's kind of like body of work, and this is just like, the one of the most traditional art entities in the world, kind of
Okay.
accepting digital art,
Oh,
right?
okay,
A
yeah.
marginalized community of 3D artists and artists who the traditional art world has been like, fuck off, you're not artist, you're not art, right? So like the Christie's Beeple thing is huge because now this is like the art world saying like, oh fuck, we can't. We have to pay attention to digital art now.
It's like Lil Nas
It's
X
democratized.
in country.
Exactly.
Okay.
Put us on.
Well, trying to relate this to me so I know.
Yeah.
So and I'll go back to like how I'm kind of like navigating this space, right? For me, like all my money came from either, working with artists or companies or brands as ambassadors. I've done very little print runs in my career, and if I have done them, it's mostly for charity. But I knew, that there's people that have a lot of connections with my art. So
You're fucking right they do.
And I think that's, the beauty of the NFT space is, people can now pay to be a supporter of someone's art, right? And also it being seen as an investment.
I have a question.
So anyhow, so I collaborated with, I was introduced to this really incredible fine art painter. His name is Thank You X. And we kind of like linked because we were like, I don't know if photography could like do well in the NFT space right now. Like, I don't think the world is ready for just straight up photography NFTs. And he was like, I don't know if the world is ready for like just straight up fine art NFT. So we like kind of like, maybe if we combine powers and make some cool new shit, maybe it'll resonate. So we collaborated. I gave him some of my favorite photos of New York. He did like his cube style painting over them. We animated it and we dropped it on Nifty Gateway on December 30th as like an art collection, right? So, and the mechanism was this. For the first 21 minutes, we had an open edition. And open edition is this mechanic where for a certain amount of time, whoever buys a piece gets a piece. And that's however many will exist, right? So for 21 minutes, we sold, a piece that was $199. And it was like this photo of mine animated. And in the 21 minutes, we sold 205 copies, right? And these are all, people we know, supporters, collectors, amazing. Then we sold 2 pieces that were one of 10s, so editions of 10, right? So 10 here and 10 here, and we sold those for $4.99. Those went automatically, like I couldn't even scoop my own shit. Those just went right away. And then we did a one of one, and it was like one of my favorite photos I've ever shot, like flying over Times Square. He animated these cubes coming down, and we did a 1-day auction. And this was like December 31st, the auction ended, and the collector bought it for $20,000, right? Which like for both of us is huge. Like I've never sold that much worth of art. That's like a whole year of my work essentially that I sold in art in a day, right? But now the beautiful part of it is that because I've been such a proponent in the space, and so has Thank You X, and we've been in the community, and now like all these collectors and other people are seeing like, oh, like these guys are about it. Like this is still the beginning of their career. They've been buying these works off the secondary market, right? So now the floor for our piece, and the floor meaning like the cheapest you can now get one of our open editions, I think is like $4,200 today. So anyone that bought it $200 can now sell for $4,200. So I have like people that supported me, like homies, like, yo, I bought this NFT thing. I don't know what the hell it was, but like I wanted to support you. But like I'm gonna have to sell this for 4Gs because that's like a 20x for me. I'm like, yo, please sell it.
Sorry, buddy.
And it's a win-win because
Silva.
When they sell it, I get a cut.
No, it works.
Your shit's hitting the streets.
Yeah,
he
so
gets a cut though.
I get a cut.
Which is great.
So why would Kings?
Because usually when you buy it, you wouldn't get any type of royalty or a cut from it.
Yeah, once I buy your painting,
It's mine
I
now.
sell it for
I have no
whatever I
royalty
want.
on it. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, go ahead, sell it, and let the next person
it's
sell
this
it again,
crazy
and I'll continue
ecosystem.
to make money.
Yeah, it's a crazy ecosystem.
So I can put my retirement album out as my unretirement album out as an NFT.
Of course.
Why, if I could do that, and they're going to track my shit all the way, and I'm getting paid the whole way, why would I put it out as a regular album? Why would Kings Leon do both?
Well, the guy from Lincoln Park was saying the more I put it on DSPs and it goes up, it raises the price of the NFT. The more people want to talk
like
and
a
listen to
collector's
it,
item.
it's
if people love it, they want to get
It's even
the fucking
doper that I have the
original
NFT
official
now.
shit.
The same way I was saying with the Warhol Campbell's painting. If everyone buys it from Urban Outfitters, if I have the original that has the certified shit on it, the more you buy the print, the higher the value goes from me having the original.
I would think if it only existed in NFT world, it would be more of an attraction.
Yes and no.
No, you have to think
would
about it
depend on the
of
item, I
having
think.
that certificate of being original. It's back to the art game. Like,
Well, it kind of
if
goes
I
back
have,
to the concept too, like Wu-Tang, right? Like
Yeah.
they're one of one. In their clause, they wanted it to only be heard by
whoever
that
bought
one
it.
person.
Yeah.
that
right?
raised the price.
And that could be a mentality. But another mentality is if you have a piece of work, you want it to, kind of like be as widespread and as generally available as possible. But you want to reward the people that are truly supporters of your art. Like if you put out your unreleased album, like only like the internet soldiers are gonna, go crazy buying that NFT component. And over time, those will be the people that would get rewarded. And it kind of becomes like, a way to track your early supporters. Like going back to what we were talking about, like imagine, and we're going to see this once, real world events come back, like there's people that hoard tickets from shows they've been to.
Yeah.
Right. And eventually that just becomes kind of like annoying because like I'm one of those people that have like a drawer full of tickets. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this?
I have bags full of
What am I gonna do with this?
tickets and
Right.
Right.
actual
Throw them
things.
away like
Now
normal
we're gonna
people,
see a world
losers.
in which like
whatever.
That's a piece of art.
Well, we're gonna see a world.
No, I like to collect
collect
cool
Throw
shit.
your fucking dresser of tickets away.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So
The,
you're gonna see a world.
the laminate don't feel the same when you get home anyway.
Yeah, it does.
You go home, you hang
Nah,
on the
but
door.
now, yeah, but now this
But
Depends-
now,
depends what it
imagine
is.
if you.
It's just
it's
saying
like
I was
proof
there.
of attendance, right?
Yeah, I
You-
was there.
Fucking dorks.
That's all it is.
And
Joe,
all
you know how
these
much a
shows, you can-
Woodstock ticket sells for right now?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's true.
I mean, I think I got your first BB King's joint in the crib. I'm about to go
Exactly.
get that.
NFT it.
Yeah, NFT that.
Put it on the blockchain.
About to double,
About to-
double your
Yeah,
price. She was
imagine-
using it
Fuck
wrong.
out of here, NFT,
Guy starts
nigga.
telling me about Woodstock tickets.
But you don't understand in the next generation that
Oh, yeah.
that would be the same.
Just go ahead, man.
Imagine an ecosystem in
Fucking
which, like,
Woodstock.
you know,
What's a Coachella ticket selling for?
Okay, so eventually the way Woodstock was now with buyers that want to buy Woodstock tickets in 20 years, you was at the second Coachella
take-
ever,
take-
that's going to be valuable.
Take your spicy mayo tone off. I'm gonna fucking learn this guy.
But you have to understand, I don't like you.
Spicy mayo. Why you
No,
keep
I
calling
know.
it spicy?
Because he got this thing he keep doing. But
Because
I get what
because
you're
I know
saying.
I could talk to you that way and I'll be fine. That's why.
There you go. There it is. Look how fast. Look Joe. It's shit everywhere.
Hold on, let me interview him. How do you feel about that decision?
Yeah, man. I mean, it get messy sometimes.
How do you feel about your last decision?
Sometimes it get messy, man.
Oh my god.
Silver while I clean up.
Silva, you were saying.
well, imagine, like,
can clean and talk.
imagine a world in which, like, you know,
Silver, you got 3 more minutes on this shit.
I got you. I'll be quick. But like, imagine at all of these events, you just had a QR code. You scan the QR code. The artist collaborates with another artist to create a one-of-a-kind NFT, right? Anyone that goes there, and that's the only way to get it, you now have a certificate that you're there for life. Over time, like, imagine all those people that were like at the first Kendrick's SOB shows
Yeah,
here
right,
and have those.
right.
If you have all the, you know, the weekend show, and you know, imagine how much that would be worth when he
Right.
performs at the Super Bowl.
Right.
Agreed.
And
Because
the
it's a
weekend would
it's
get
a-
money, and you would get money for being one of the earlier supporters of the weekend.
No,
Exactly.
the weekend didn't get paid from the Super Bowl.
He paid.
All right, and here's where I'm gonna sound like a complete hater, which is against what I would like to do. When it comes to audio, is this complete bullshit?
No,
Because I can understand the tangible ticket, the tangible painting, the tangible photo. If there's some certificate that says I have the original audio that sounds exactly like the fucking audio I can get for free.
No, well, because you haven't even like dug into like the incentives. Like, imagine you own. No, over
Just
time,
asking
you're
the
gonna-
questions I know they're gonna say.
No, and again, I think Kings of Leon is doing a great job because they're adding all these incentives to the NFT, and
To
I think
add on
that's
to it.
where
Got
you
it.
know. And also, I'd be remiss if I don't talk about like Blau. Blau just did an auction.
Yo, no. You get now.
He would
We're
be
not
remiss.
talking about Bilal.
He would be
You
remiss.
be remiss. We're not talking about Bilal.
I love Bilal.
Silver, thank you.
Thank you,
He'd be
thank you,
remiss.
thank you.
He'd be remiss,
I
man.
could keep going. I could keep going.
We did.
Bilal.
I could talk this shit.
Bilal.
Yeah, that was for one
Yo,
shit.
but nah, seriously though, send me that dude's Instagram if he has one.
Yeah.
I want to start looking at his shit.
Not Bilal now. All right, enough.
So Bilal's been active in the NFT.
Yeah, he's been like the top. He just sold an album for $3 million.
Oh shit.
An album that he already released 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
It wasn't even a new album.
He's still scamming.
Well, that, I guess that's the answer to that.
Can't scam the
Bilal,
NFT.
they stopped scamming, huh?
You remixing that?
Hey, he sold that. Oh shit, he did a Village Underground for $3 million.
Don't act like you ain't take Shorty to his Valentine's Day show at SOBs.
it was even more.
You
It was
definitely
like- it was
did.
like-
That was my routine on Valentine's
It was
Day. That
actually like
Bilal
11
show at
11 million.
SOBs.
Bilal is who this
11 million?
Yeah, it was. More.
Holy shit.
It was way more than that actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Good for Bilal.
Shout out to Bilal. Love
Yeah.
Bilal.
but yeah, it's a fucking renaissance for artists, man.
I love that finally singers and rappers can do the same thing that real artist painters do as a scam. Because the art world is a scam to me. Yeah. Fuckers throw some paint on a canvas, $7 million.
Well, yeah, but
Well, but now
like
the
he
market
said-
So yeah,
decides it.
no, now you
Right.
could be a
The
singer
market-
and
the
get your
market
money.
decides it.
Now the market decides
know.
the price.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's very interesting.
So we'll see. I mean, and it's definitely changed the way that I'm approaching
interesting.
art and creating
Yeah,
art and
it
dropping
is.
art.
It is.
Like now I'm coming at it as like a, you know, crazier perspective. Like what, And now I feel like I owe it to all these people that invested in me last time.
Exactly.
For my next drop to be like, oh,
Crazy.
it's got to be crazy.
Yeah.
I got to, whoever buys this next one, I got to make sure to
Right.
elevate
Step
that
up.
price
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
And I mean this in a good way. It puts value on the nerd shit. Like the way people are so focused on art, and a regular person will walk by and be like, all right,
Yeah,
that looks like a bunch of paint. I don't know what the fuck that means. Why is that worth $7 million?
It's like
could be the same way when you get like that rapidy rap, that underground shit. Fuck all that. Nah, we have a high value on that now.
It's a if you know type of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and the same culture exists in T-shirts and clothing and all that
Yeah.
shit. Where I got the original shit from the vintage joint or the first release of this sneaker
Exactly.
or whatever it is.
That's why you have
so-
like Bobby Hundreds coming in and like talking about NFTs as much as he is now.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same principle.
I like it.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Joe, do you have any more questions you need clarity on without destroying the entire basement?
Yeah, man. What do you think Bilal's up to right now?
He said it was 11.
Blau is
11
probably
million.
11 million?
Pro-
Yeah.
Blau is getting calls
On
from
old work?
every
Joe-
major
Joe-
artist in the world asking him, how can we do this? And you're going to see a lot of major players coming into the space, and they're all going through Blau because he's the one that truly understands this blockchain shit.
Why is he the only one?
And
that truly
I love that for
Because
Bilal.
he's been a
too. He's been
believer.
active.
Yeah, he's been active. He's been a believer of just blockchain technology, and he's been like studying about it. So everyone's like, who's this random DJ? Like, no, he's been learning in the space, you know.
Who is this random DJ
that just made $11
That's
million?
Bilal.
He's like, who just made $11 million?
and which is
Like, no,
another reason why I had a problem with D'Angelo and friends. He didn't really invite his friends.
But yeah, so
Say that.
he's probably getting calls from every major artist trying to figure out how they can do their next release as an NFT. And you're only going to continue to see more and more like big players enter the space. So that's what I'm interested in, because who's going to do it right and who's going to like actually use the technology to the fullest extent of its potential.
Lil Yachty sold out his new social token Yachty for $15 each in 21 minutes. Owning Yachty gives fans exclusive access to receive personal items from the rapper's career, participate in online parties with Yachty, and the sale brought in $276,006.
So now people that have those tokens, if they want to sell theirs,
Yeah.
And they will.
I get it.
They go
I
higher
get
in
it. I see
value.
what's happening.
You know,
I get
so
it.
supporters, it's an ecosystem where
It's basically
early
saying
supporters,
I was the first one here. I'm an OG.
And only
it's
this
like
amount
OG
of
stamp.
tokens
That's all it is.
exist.
Yeah. I
yeah,
get it.
it's
I like it.
monetizing the OG stamp.
It's monetizing OG stamp. And then now whenever y'all keep singing my praises, my shit goes up. Y'all get paid. I see what's happening.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Silva,
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Silva.
you for
This is really, really
Yeah,
interesting.
I
explaining
appreciate
this.
that. For real.
And yeah, I got some ideas.
Yeah.
I got some ideas on how this could be useful.
Get nifty.
Yeah.
We gonna start selling the motherfucking pool
creative-
party tags.
creative
Nigga, the first,
Yo,
you was the
the
first
pool
hoe
party
there
NFT?
in 2012. If you
That first pool party.
she showed me a 2012 pool party, man.
Listen, Silva creators got to create, man.
You know?
We got to.
That's it.
And now they're giving us shit like this. This is awesome, man.
More tools.
That 45 minutes was much better than my take on Papoose rhyming all the cereals. That's what's like I was coming here to do. And I'm going to talk about it, too. If he think that that's getting away from me,
Call him. Get Pap on the line.
I saw the
please.
vid.
Please call Pat.
I got to clown him first. And I got to watch myself when I clown him.
I ain't
because
even know he could flip Apple Jacks like that.
He did.
Papoose got to stop.
When you do the science, you ain't even do the science. That's why.
He has to stop.
Yeah, but you do the science.
I
and
would
then tell
say
him to
more. I'm scared of him and his wife.
stop. He flipped
One of
Apple
y'all-
Jacks crazy on you, Rory.
Why is Papoose?
I have nothing to say. Well,
Why is Papoose the only guy in the world that has every box of cereal in his kitchen?
that's fire.
Like that's the problem.
That's when you get money, actually.
Yeah, that's well.
Sir?
Yeah, no, I'm not done. I'm going to talk about that on Patreon. I won't waste everybody's time here, but I'm getting to this topic.
As soon as we end here, we
Look at this guy.
fire the mics back up.
Damn.
Oh,
Look, and sometimes when he
Honeycombs is my
when
shit,
he
though.
had two punchlines too
Which is
close
slap,
together,
yeah.
he had to hurry up and get two boxes of cereal.
Yeah, it's just the cereal slaughter.
Yeah, then you heard him, y'all.
The cereal slaughter.
And my
Instead of
man,
alphabetical slaughter.
and my man got all them businesses. He be
Damn,
raising
boy.
brands.
Come on, though. But
was talking about you.
See, he ain't even go there with him, though. He ain't go with. You ain't go where Pat was trying to go. You got out the car. You ain't even go all the way there with him. That's your problem. You got out the car
Did
too
you hear
early.
what everything? Did y'all listen to Pap?
Yeah.
I did. I mixed that song.
But you got out the car too early. You ain't even know
He was
Parks mixed the
wildin' all-
cereals.
You ain't
Parks
even give
mixed
us a
his
snippet?
cereals.
He was wilding all day. I went to Shorty home. She must have just left. I went in the bathroom and seen Honeycomb.
Come on, son.
But you know he.
You ain't even
you've
go
seen.
with Pap. You gotta go with him though. Don't get out.
You've
too
been in that
early.
bathroom.
Yeah, you gotta go with him though, Joe. Go all the way there. Don't stop. Go all
I want
the
to
way.
call Remy so bad. I want to call Remy, your husband
I'm
is
about to
causing a terror on the net.
How much cereal y'all got left?
He is a cereal rapper.
For real.
Do you guys buy in bulk?
For sure.
That cereal freestyle should be an NFT.
There you go.
Oh, then you get the
Someone
boxes
would buy
NFT.
it.
That's
Someone
it.
would buy it.
Listen, I'm coming back. It's going to be an NFT. It's coming.
No, we all laughing. Some of our best pods, that Pusha T pod, NFT.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
We got the file.
right after that, Spotify got hacked. I'm just telling y'all something. It was right after that interview.
I saw those numbers and was like, damn, it crashed everything.
And now that I'm seeing how Patreon is working, I get why they wouldn't tell me some shit. Imagine that. What if we catch a lick 1 month? Like, that Pusha shit was right at the perfect time. It was shit niggas needed
course.
to hear.
I remember.
The Drake beef, biggest beef ever. And then Pusha T sat down. Oh, my goodness.
No more
gracious.
numbers for you, buddy.
You're not getting another number again.
Nah.
Ever.
Ever.
You want to negotiate?
Ever. And don't you ever come around here no more. Yeah, what if we caught a good month with something like that? Imagine if and this hasn't happened to us, relax. What if 80,000 people just signed up to some shit one day to hear something? Or in 1 month to hear something?
Yeah.
I'm not giving you another number. I'm never telling you 80,000 people came this month.
With $10 a month for the
Servers
next
crashed.
however many years.
But
No,
does
my math was different. My math had every user over there evaluated at a little more than $10.
Oh, sure.
see, but NFTs that might work on something like an NFT, like with seasons and episodes, dropping visuals for shit like that, and you're the only ones that have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and also it's kind of like a glorified email list because now say all these people had all of these the Pusha episode.
Right.
You know, if you have now their public wallet address
Right.
of the people that own this, you can airdrop them behind the scenes from that day.
Okay,
and that's just
got
making
you.
their life because you're now rewarding the people that supported you
Right.
back then.
I'd love to be able to NFT a locked album, my album that you can't even open, unlock, hear, know nothing about for maybe a year or two. So that as it gets closer to the 2 years, the value goes
The
up
resale
even more.
value goes crazy. Yeah.
I'm gonna finish researching this stuff. I am, because it's too interesting.
It is.
It's way too interesting.
is.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have sleepers?
Of course we got sleepers. Let's
Yeah.
give Silver a round of applause
Yeah,
for
come
dropping
on,
the dropping the
you
science on us.
you went crazy, Silver. You did.
There's a lot of information to take in, but it's a lot of important
Shameless
jewels
plug
in there.
though. I got
Shout out
do
to
a shameless
Ferocious,
plug. Shout out for
Mario Van Peoples. Who else? Maxwell,
All the
Bilal.
all the Muhammads that Drake said.
Who else we got?
Yo, you an idiot.
Oh, Maxwell let Bilal beat him to the NFTs.
No, Maxwell's sick about that.
Maxwell lost versus and the NFTs.
Don't do that. Maxwell ain't lose no weight.
Yes, he did. He didn't show up like Ashanti.
You said he'd never run though.
Who, Maxwell? I don't think he ran.
I
I'm
don't-
not sticking
I
with
don't
that.
think he did either.
I'm not sticking
But-
with
Yo, did y'all notice that D'Angelo never relit that cigarette?
that. Yo, let me find a song. I'm going to find a song right now.
How that cigarette was lit the entire verses?
I got songs.
It was a prop.
This is American Spirit. They burn a long time.
Bro, that shit was amazing to me. The cigarette was the star of the show. I said, that shit still lit. He ain't pulled that shit in 12 minutes. Right or wrong? Every time he picked that shit up, it was still burning.